Good morning and welcome, Patriot Radio News Hour on this Thursday. Joe Jaquint solo today. Yeah, Jason is under the weather, and I will say this: that never happens. He may be like the healthiest person I've ever known. I don't remember him missing work because he didn't feel well. I think he missed a couple of days of work one time, but it was like a dental thing, so that doesn't really count. But yeah, I got a text this morning, and he's feeling crappy. Probably bird flu. That's my guess. That's probably what's done him in. But you'll just have me today. It's been a while. I haven't talked solo in a lot of years, so bear with me. Our toll free number 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com. And just so many things. We had earnings from Kohl's, from Best Buy, software companies, Salesforce, all of them down significantly. Probably Kohl's, I think, probably down the worst, maybe like 20-30%. Kohl's reporting a loss. Best Buy saying sales were sluggish. Salesforce, they're down almost 20%. But then, we had Foot Locker that said, hey, things were okay at Foot Locker. So I don't know. I guess maybe people needed some shoes for summer. But we have the Dow down pretty big again today, down almost another 400 points as well. The bond market, as we've been talking about all week, it was another bad auction yesterday on the 7-year notes. Right now, the bond market's actually moving wildly down today. Again, tomorrow we get what they say is the Fed's favorite inflation report coming out, the CPE coming out tomorrow. They believe that it will be lower. It'll be lower month over month, something in the high twos versus the low threes. So we'll watch and wait for that. We did have jobless claims today, 219,000. So we kind of maybe have moved from 210 to, let's round up, call it 220, because I think last week was like 216, 217. The week before that, 222. So not enough to really affect anything. We got gold and silver mixed today. Silver, which had a huge day yesterday, kind of some profit taking going on in the silver markets today. And gold, I think everyone's waiting for tomorrow. That's going to be, I think, when we see what the next week will look like when we get those inflation numbers that come out on tomorrow. But things like pending home sales, numbers that, we haven't seen numbers like this since they shut down everything and told people not to go to work during COVID. A huge drop in pending home sales. So these are going to be contracts signed in April. So most likely these were supposed to close in May or June, down 7.7%. Those aren't drops you get. Normally, you get it's down 2%, 3%, 1%, but down 7.7%. Year over year sales lower. The 29th straight monthly decline in year over year, non-seasonally adjusted. So let's point that out. By the way, if you take out the 1 month of COVID, this will be the worst pending home sales going all the way back to, the chart only goes back to 2001. So this is something that really is, again, I don't know how long this is going to play out, right? How long can prices keep going up and nobody being able to afford it? And then we had revisions to GDP, first quarter GDP. It got revised lower to just 1.3%. I was actually thinking that would get revised higher. This is why the bond market's down today. Pending home sales, GDP weighing on, right? This is the, hey, rate cuts. You know, you could talk about rate cuts, I guess, if you look at those two numbers all by themselves, but I don't see it. I just don't see it. When we look at where the inflation data is at, when we look at what's going on in the bond market, even if they did lower, would the rates go down? I don't know. So much debt having to be refinanced. We don't know yet. The Treasury hasn't indicated how big the auction sizes need to increase. So starting in August, they've already let the markets know we need to sell even more debt. Here's the problem. In August, they're going to tell you, hey, in December, we're going to need to do it again. These are the things that really have the bond market confused as to what to do. And now, of course, bank failures back on the table, right? Interest rates much higher than expected. The Dow down 400, the S&P's down 25, the Nasdaq's down 125, and it's going to be interesting. I'll just say this: a lot of new people coming into the gold and silver markets, whether it's because they heard about Costco or they've seen all the inflation. We're going to talk about. So all you newbies, all you ones that have been listening and haven't bought gold, this show is going to be for you today. We'll be back right after the break. 800-951-0592, Patriot News Hour on this Thursday. A quick look in here. The Dow right now down 386 points right now, 38,055. So, we've had almost 2,000 points come off the Dow here as of late. The S&P's down 25. The Nasdaq's down 123. The 10-year note back in the 4.5s. I mean, this thing is just on a yo-yo right now. Of course, as we talked about, nobody buying homes, GDP getting revised lower. We've got in the inflation data coming tomorrow, so we'll see. Of course, we got a bond auction today. So far this week, every bond auction has been bad. There hasn't been a good one yet. That's unusual. Normally, we're used to maybe one bad auction a week, but this has put that upward pressure. Crude oil's down a little bit. We got gold up a couple of dollars right now, $23.43 on gold. Silver's down 70 cents here, $31.60. Of course, silver really took off again yesterday. And the dollar is actually weaker this morning because, the bond market falling here. But remember, and this is why we're going to talk about all you long time, maybe you're a new listener, maybe you've listened for a while, maybe you're trying to educate yourself, being new to being diversified, and maybe you didn't do anything during the dot-com bubble, the financial crisis, right? You wrote it all the way down, and now you see all the signs, you feel it, you know it, right? The next bubble is coming, and this time you don't want to ride it all the way down. You got to have gold and silver in your portfolio, but I would really suggest to you, especially if you got lots, but you got 500,000, $1 million, $2 million in an IRA, some of you in your 401ks, you got large quantities of money sitting in your bank account. That's the dumbest thing anybody could do because they're going to take it all. I'm just telling you. That's what's going to happen. Check out our friends over at YRefi. You get up to 10.25% fixed rates of return, not correlated to Wall Street. Doesn't care. Does it care that the Dow is down today? No. Does it care about inflation or the bond market? No, it doesn't. And it's kind of a nice feeling knowing, hey, I'm going to be making income no matter what happens. You can do whatever you want. You can use it as income. You can compound it. There's no attack on principal if you need your money back. None of that stuff. Check them out. Invest yrefi.com. That's the word invest, the letter Y, REFY.com, or just call them. That's the easiest thing. 888 Y Refi 24. Just tell them I sent you, will you? Having said that, when we talk about all of this hype with gold and with silver, and especially now, right? Gold, pretty much all-time highs here. Silver back above $30 and back up, really 31, 32, getting ready to go to all-time highs. And a lot of people wondering what to do, right? They're thinking, well, should I buy when it's this hot, right? Maybe I should have bought 3 years ago. Yeah, you're probably right. That'd have been a better idea, right? Because obviously gold was a lot cheaper then, but cheap is relative. What you have to ask yourself is, why am I buying? What's the point of buying it? What do I do with it? Right? How does it work? Where do I put it? How can I sell it? Right? What do I, how about handing it down to the children and the grandchildren? By the way, handing down gold, great way to do it, especially if you don't tell anybody. It's a great way to hand down wealth. But let's start with the beginning. Why are you buying? Why are you listening to this show? Why are you paying attention? Is it because, for some people, it's because, well, gosh, you know what? I got kids in my 20s and kids in my 30s. They can't even think about buying a house. And they've got jobs. Heck, they make good money. I got, people are telling me I got kids making 60, 70, 80, $100,000. You can't afford to buy a house. It's not right. Things are messed up. Right? Maybe it was COVID kind of shook you up. Right? Then, of course, maybe it was COVID, and then you found out the government lied about it all. Just kind of made stuff up. Whatever the case may be, the biggest reason to put gold away, it's a hedge. Gold, we always say to gold, it's really a savings. You can have a choice. I can save it in my bank. I can try to make gains, right, in a 401k or an IRA. But now you're like, gosh, stocks, this whole, if it's not AI, it seems like it's not good. By the way, AI, that's another little, almost like a dot-com bubble. I'll go back to NVIDIA and their earnings report last week. They're selling data warehouse chips. That's what they're selling. That's what they're selling. Why? Because they need the power to do what? To track everything. That's what's coming. Digital currencies are coming. But it's a hedge. What are you hedging really against here? Well, we're hedging against fiat money. We're hedging against the debt money system. That's really what gold does. For us, it's a hedge against the dollar, right? You think about what I've talked about with these debt auctions. Listen, if you've been listening to this show for the last year and a half, how many times are we talking about another crappy auction, another crappy one? And it just gets worse and worse and worse, right? And we talk about BRICS and China and Russia. We cause all these wars and all of these countries deciding that they don't want to hold dollars, right? Those are the things that we're really kind of watching and trying to figure out what is going on. But when you buy gold, let's start with gold. You have only two kinds. They come in bars or coins. Okay, so as far as what type, there's bars and there's coins. Let's start with the easiest, the bars. Costco sells. Well, when they have them, they sell them. This is your cheapest way to buy gold. It is. It's cheaper. Notice how we don't really sell them here. And the reason is the laws aren't very good for bars. Anything over $10,000, when you want to sell, now you can buy it in any amount. Right? You can buy $1 million in gold bars. You can. You can buy $10 million, whatever the number is. But when you go to sell anything over $10,000 in gold bars, you got to give me your social security number. I've got to issue a 1099. I got to pay my accountant. And essentially, all of that costs money. All of it. Of course, you guys know that. Costs money. When you go to sell back bars, and this is kind of universal, nobody bids them. Nobody wants them. You're going to get well below spot. It's just a hassle. And most of us out there hate the hassle. And obviously, the bigger thing is, look, we got gold, closing in on $2,500. You got everybody out there saying gold's going to be between $2,700 and $3,000 in the next 12 months. Well, that's only 4 coins, 4 bars, 4 1-ounce bars. Heck, you buy a 5-ounce or a 10-ounce gold bar, it's an automatic $10.99 right now. I hate them. I do. We buy them from people. I normally don't sell them because I just don't like it. And it's never good, right? When somebody wants to sell it and you're like, well, I'll give you $2,200 for it. And, gold's $2,350, right? That's just not good. But what can you do? That's bars. Don't care if you want to buy them from me, call me. We'll sell them to you. I will, but I won't advertise them. Then you have coins. And all the mints in the world, they all make a coin. Canadian Mint makes coins. The Chinese Mint, the Australian Mint, the Austrian Mint, right? The British have coins. The French, everyone's got a coin. In the United States, and by the way, the coins come in 1 ounce, half ounce, quarter ounce, 10th ounce. That's kind of the denomination. And some of them do some funky things. There's a couple of mints. They've minted like a 20th of an ounce and stuff like that. But by and large, those are the 4 sizes: 1 ounce, half ounce, quarter ounce, 10th ounce. And here's the easiest way to understand it. The more fractional you get, okay, so 10th of an ounce, that's the most common fractional coin. And it's just that. It's 1/10 of an ounce of gold. Quarter ounce is a quarter ounce, half ounce, 1 ounce, 1 ounce. The more fractional you get, the higher the premium. What does that mean? Simply put, you're going to pay the most over spot for that coin. So the 10th ounce American Gold Eagle, as an example, it's the most expensive way to buy gold. Right now, I got to look. Let me look here. It's I'm like the cheapest in the country, at least online anyway. $295. Okay? Well, if you did that 10 times, that's $2,950. I guess that's $600 over. It is. It's expensive. But when you go to sell them back, you get paid the most. Right? That's the other side, right? You gotta factor both sides. And right now, a lot of people are liking the fractional for a very good reason. We'll get to that later. So just kind of figure that out, right? When we're talking about, hey, how can I buy closer to spot? You buy the bigger coins, right? You buy the 1 ounce coins. That's That's how you get closer to spot. Here in the United States, the government says that there's two types of gold: bullion and collectible gold. Those are the only two types. In the bullion category, the bars go in there, right? We just talked about them. And by the way, all the other gold, all of it, I don't care what's minted in, are considered bullion with one exception: pre-1933 U.S. minted gold. Right? This is what we call, some people call it old gold, pre-33 gold. This is your Liberties, your St. Gaudens, and your Indians. Right? And they made that judgment. So, real quick in history, the government confiscated gold from the citizenry in 1933, right? This was the first big power move by the Federal Reserve. They wanted to get rid of gold. Why did they want to get rid of gold? They wanted a debt money system. They wanted to print money. They wanted us to go into debt. That's why they did it. When we get back, we'll go over that, and then we'll talk about what types should you have? What should you buy? Why are you buying it? We'll talk all about that coming up next. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe Jaquint solo here today. Jason is under the weather today, but hopefully he'll be back tomorrow. If not, don't worry. He'll be back next week, I'm sure. But when we're looking at gold, right? So we started talking about in the United States, there's only types of gold in the eyes of the government: collectible and bullion. Bullion, the rule's real simple. Anything over $10,000 when you go to sell, 1099. I've got Maple Leafs. I got Krugerrands. I got whatever it is, that gold bars. That's why a lot of times you see them, they're cheap. Of course, when you go to sell them back, you get a lot less for them. That's just how it works. I didn't make the rules. If the rules change, there's people actually talking right now about wanting to end the tax on gold and silver. I would love that. I think that would be awesome. They're never going to do it, but there are people talking about it. How great would that be? Because in that case, hey, if that ever did happen, right, whatever's the cheapest, buy that, right? And making it so much easier, but that's not what the rules are right now. So in 1933, they wanted debt. Think about it. Now we got $40-some trillion of debt. They've obviously accomplished their goals. And when we sit there and think, okay, so what does that mean? When I always say to people, if you want to be private, a lot of our customers want privacy. Pre-1933 U.S. gold is the way to go. It's just that simple. And again, in the pre-33 1 ounce, that's the $20 gold piece. Half ounce is the $10 gold piece. The $5 gold piece, that's your quarter ounce. There is no 10th ounce in pre-33 gold. They did have a $2.50 coin, and they do. It exists. We sell them very infrequently. They're like 0.12, so they're a little more than a tenth of an ounce, but they're really expensive. So I don't really advertise them. I don't really sell a lot of them because they just the cost of them just makes them, you have better options, right? In that case, I'm a big fan of 10th ounce gold eagles, right? Because you like to have those, but on the pre-1933, the 20s, 10s, 5s, right? 1 ounce, half ounce, quarter ounce. Same rules normally apply, right? Which is the $20 is the cheapest, followed by the 10s, and then the 5s are the most expensive. As an example, the quarter ounce today, $680. right? You're talking about $2,700 on 4 quarter-ounce pieces. That's right. That's going to be more expensive. We got a 20 today at $2,525. So you can kind of see the difference. What's important to you as to what it is that you want to do. If you don't care about privacy, if you don't care about 1099s, and if you don't care that you'll get less when you sell it back, buy gold bars. Sure, call me up. We'll sell them to you. But if you do and you want to be private, stick to old gold. It's simple. Take IRAs. We do gold and silver IRAs all the time. If most of your money's in an IRA, but you want some physical gold, call us. It can help. Now, you can't store it at your house. And if you've done that, I feel sorry. Sooner or later, you're going to get caught. But that you can't do that. But you have options. You can store it in the depository in Texas. There's a depository in Delaware. We use either one. We use a company called Gold Star Trust. The one thing about an IRA, it's the second best way to own gold because obviously, A, it's not at your house. B, the only gold they don't allow in an IRA, you guessed it, pre-1933 U.S. gold. You can't put that in there. You can put gold eagles in there. You can put bars in there, maple leafs, pandas. I mean, you name it. You can put it all in there, except for pre-1933 1-ounce American gold eagles. And I'll leave you to that to decide why that is. Obviously, I think it's pretty simple why that is. But if you want to do that, here's the cool thing about it, though. Because it's not all bad there. Here's the great thing about it. Number one, it's under your control. You control what you do with that IRA. You want to sell, you can sell. You want to add, you can add. I mean, you can do what you want. We use a company called Gold Star Trust. I'm not legally allowed to be your administrator. You got to have a third party that is somebody that is approved by the government, the SEC. The one that will handle the paperwork. We'll help you fill it all out and all that stuff. We're just a company that puts the gold and silver in there. That's it. And then, of course, when you want to sell it, we're the company that buys it. So, but you can also take physical possession at any time. Kind of cool. I mean, it'd be just like you were selling. But if you were worried about things, you could have gold there. And then, man, you know what? I don't like how this is looking. And you can say, hey, I want to store this at my house now. Right. So keep that in mind. But we can help you do that. 800-951-0592. So what else do you need to know about, and gold? And by the way, silver, same thing. They go together. How do you sell it? Call us. Just that easy. Just that easy. Just call us. Gold's $5,000, $10,000, doesn't matter. Silver's 30, 40, 50, whatever it is. When you need to sell, you call us. How do I get paid? How do you want to get paid? Check, bank wire, cash, what have you, right? That's how we do it. When the people are also, the digital currency drives people, they get confused. Well, what happens then if we go digital? Well, digital will be almost like a bank wire. And you'll come in and sell, and I'll give you the price, and then, electronically, boom, we put the money in your account, and you'll get digital credits versus Federal Reserve notes. That's the one thing about it. It doesn't matter what the system is. I don't know I think I do know what it's going to be. I think it's going to be digital. We're going to have a central bank digital currency. That's how you'll get paid. Right now, you still get paid with Federal Reserve notes, whether that's cash, a check, a bank wire, what have you. It's still Federal Reserve notes. Patriot Radio News Hour will be back right after the 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe Jaquint solo here on this Thursday. Jason's a little under the weather today, but we're kind of going through for all the newer people out there, or maybe people that haven't pulled the trigger yet, trying to answer some of the questions you may have. If you want to come in, we are not a coin store. Quite honestly, don't like the riffraff that goes with coin stores. No offense to them, but you got that element, right? I just stole grandma's jewelry, or I stole dad's rings or watches, and I'm pawning them, and people watching you. We're big on privacy here, in case you haven't figured that out. Whether it's in our Fort Lupton office or our office here at the Deer Valley Air Park, call us. We'll set an appointment and we'll walk you through. We'll show you all the products, talk about all the products, and go over all of these things again. We're happy to do that. We can do it if you want to do it on a phone call, great. But some people like to come in, you want to touch it, feel it. I get that. You can absolutely do that. We have 3 types of customers here at Patriot. The first one I refer to is the hardcore prepper, right? They are preparing for complete lawlessness. What does that look like? A lot of people, I'll go, power's probably the easiest, right? No power. And no power for an extended period of time. Okay? If there's no power, the gas stations don't work. There's no power. Can't go buy groceries at the supermarket. Nope, can't buy food. Can't really do anything in this country really without power, right? It's hard to do. In the event of that, usually lawlessness prevails, and that's kind of the hard thing, right? It could be neighborhood by neighborhood, right? This group's in charge of this area. This group's in charge of that area. I mean, look at Haiti's a great example. Complete lawlessness there, right? You got a gangster called Barbecue, right? Calling the shots in most areas of that country. And that's where barter comes in, right? Gold and silver have been money for thousands of years. And that's hard for a lot of people. I think that I don't think that's the most likely scenario at all. But I'm going to say to you this, especially with a digital currency coming, black market barter is going to be a real thing. That's just where I sit on that. What do they like to buy? They like silver, right? Utility silver, silver dimes, silver quarter, silver half dollars. Any of those 3 coins, those 3 coins had silver in the United States through 1964. So when we sell rolls of silver dimes, right? They're like $130, something like that. You get 50 silver dimes. That'd be something small. Right? I'm going to get a couple of eggs from, whoever's got the eggs, right? $50. Maybe you need penicillin or water purification tablets, right? Stuff like that. You don't want to go, if that happened, right? If lawlessness happened, man, you don't want to go to the biker gang that's in charge of your area and give them a $20 gold piece because you need some water purification tablets, or you need, some food or what have you. They're just going to rob you, right? I mean, come on, right? So having close to exact change be an important thing. Obviously, in a controlled environment, social credit scores, or you can only buy so much meat or ammo or whatever it may be, right? Barter's a big thing. The utility silver, U.S. government hallmark silver. You can buy silver bars. You can buy silver eagles. The most expensive way to buy silver is U.S. silver eagles. It's the most expensive. Same thing applies, though, right? You get paid more when you go to sell it back, right? That's kind of the difference in the silver as well. Bars you get paid the least. A lot of people like silver rounds, right? Those are fine. We sell them. Same thing, right? I'll just pay you less for them. Then the utility silver, and then the silver eagles. And right now, silver eagles are pretty expensive. So I kind of like the utility silver because it's like $4 or $5 less an ounce. I kind of like that. But that's our one customer, and that's 5 or 10%. Our next customer is, hey, I don't care about any of that. I just need to hedge myself. I think this thing's going to hell in a handbasket. The dollar's done. Debt's overwhelming. I just want the cheapest gold possible, staying private as possible, right? That means you're going to be buying $20 gold, $10 gold, because sometimes you get a half ounce for less than 20. You want to always do that, right? That's primarily, that's what you're buying, 1 ounce coins. You're buying those. That's what you're buying. That's another, say 5, 10% of our customers. The other 80, 90% of our customers, they're like the guy that, hey, I want to be private and pay less. But that prepper guy, yeah, I really thought he was wacko, 20 years ago. But you know what? He's not that crazy anymore. And I better just have a little bit of that stuff too, just in case. And I think that's where the majority of our customers lie, right? They want to be private. They don't want to pay too much. But at the same time, hey, I better have some stuff to barter with just in case, because I don't know what this government's going to do. Patriot Radio News Hour, final segment coming up. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Wrap it up this Thursday, kind of, going through the basics. Right now, just really quickly, the two best buys I have today on gold, it's $20 gold pieces. Liberties or Saints. This is the most private way to own it. $2,525. $2,525. Gold's almost $23.50, just under $23.50. It's only $175 over spot. That's really good. People think, well, it's not stocks. So that's the other thing. It's not stocks. We'll get to that in a minute. And then on the silver side, silver $50, $260. Buy those. Okay, those are your two things. 800-951-0592. This is a commodity. This isn't somebody's debt. You cannot buy gold and silver for the spot price. That's it. That's what miners will sell it for under the ground before it ever comes out. To give you an idea, this is the best explanation I can give you. Here in Arizona, we pay $4 for unleaded gasoline, the cheap unleaded gasoline. Unleaded gasoline, spot unleaded gas on the stock market, $2.41. Okay, so that's the best example I can give. When you're actually buying the physical commodity, you're always going to pay more. Another big question. Well, how much do you make? All reputable dealers out there are in the single digits. We don't have large markups, right? Unfortunately, are there some unscrupulous dealers out there that whack you for 30, 40, 50, percent? Yes, there is. That they're out there. You got to be careful. But all us reputable, it's all single digit markups. And if you're dealing in volume, it's going to be low single digits. So I hope that answers a lot of your questions. Like I said, if you want to come in to our office in Fort Lupton, or our office here in Colorado, or our office here in Arizona, and we can lay out all the products, talk to you about it. We're happy to do that by appointment only. When you place orders, if you want us to ship it to you, it's a flat $35. Yeah, you can order $100,000. Well, I'll probably throw in the ship it if you order $100,000. But most orders, $35. We ship everything FedEx. That's how we like to ship. Silver, sometimes it'll go ground UPS because it's really heavy. But other than that, We primarily ship FedEx to wherever you tell us to. If you want to use a credit card, all gold dealers and silver dealers charge credit card fees. Why? Because, well, we're in single digits. I only charge 2%. So I actually lose money on that deal. We'll see how much longer I can do it. All these reward cards, it's getting crazy. They're approaching 4% fees on these reward cards. But and we take them all. Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover. Just know going in that it'll be a 2% fee for that. If you want to pick up, great, we can do that. Again, by appointment, you place the order. We'll call you when the order's here. Whatever time is convenient for you. We don't like to stack appointments. In other words, we try to, as best we can, you have privacy while you're in our offices. 800-951-0592. I hope that answered a lot of people's questions out there. $20 gold, $25.25. Rolls of silver, $50 at $260. I'm going to come right back because I got 2 more hours. I got to do the half empty cup. Stay with me.